Welcome to the Ceramics Detailing channel. So this is the final video of 3 in a mini series on basic cleaning of carpets and floor mats. So as with everything in detailing, there are techniques and equipment you can use to make your life a lot easier. No different here with trying to get sand from carpets and floor mats. This is my way of doing things. As with all the other videos, this suits me and it helps me to get a professional finish in the quickest possible time. If you do it differently, then great. If it works for you, fantastic. So let's have a look at first of all the equipment and then the technique that I use to get the sand from the mats and carpets. So this is the kit that I use. A little bit quirky, but it definitely works for me and saves a lot of time. So types of customers that have a lot of sort of sand in their cars at any one time, those that obviously live on the coast, have holiday homes on the coast, but more for me it's customers that use AstroTurf pitches either for football or hockey. It tends to be a lot of really fine sand on those types of surfaces. So I've got a multi-tool, cheap multi-tool from Aldi, which has got the sanding pad on but not the sandpaper. Couple of brushes, because obviously not just sand we've got to deal with, we've got to deal with all the other contaminants as well. So it's the same principle as the first 2 videos. Obviously got our vacuum cleaner. I also carry one of these old racks out of a baking tray for the oven. And this just raises the mat off the floor a little bit. Now, contrary to what I've said before, I will normally do this on the driveway, so the mat will sit upside down on top of the rack, and then we use the vibration from the multi-tool to get all of that sand out, and that just gives a little bit of space obviously for that sand to fall away from the mat. And for this purpose of this demonstration, I've got some play sand, which is probably one of the finest grain sand you can get. So I'll just make sure that's well embedded into that mat. Again, these are the mats, these awful eBay mats. They're quite fibrous. Just want to make sure that's embedded right in there. So first job I do is just to treat this mat as I would normally, and that is to get all the fibres moving in the same direction. That's going to get out pet hairs and twigs, grass, that type of thing. So once we've done the brushing, the next thing to do is to use the multi-tool, but I don't think there's enough sand in there for this demonstration, so I'm going to add in some more. I really want to get that contaminated. So obviously the first step, try and get those fibres going in the same direction and get most of the contamination out. We've now got a lot of sand embedded into this really poor quality floor mat. Next thing to do is to use the multi-tool. So that's where our baking tray grill comes in. What I'm going to do as well, just to demonstrate, is I'll put a piece of card under just to show what we actually catch. Place that over the top so the mat is face down. Take our multi-tool and basically we're just going to go over, and it's the vibration that's going to get rid of the vast majority of that sand. Okay. So the last thing to do now is just to use the vacuum just to get the last of this sand contamination out. So there you go, but even with the multi-tool, that's taken about 2 to 3 minutes of hoovering to get the rest of it out. But without that multi-tool, without getting 90% of that sand out first, that would have taken me a hell of a lot longer. And the problem you've got is if there's sand embedded in the floor mats and you want to stripe them, the minute you touch that floor mat with a brush, that will dig up all of the sand that you failed to get out of the mat. So the technique for removing sand from within the vehicle, from the carpets themselves within the cars, so I'm just going to do a quick demonstration here. A lot more difficult because you haven't got access to be able to take the carpet out and turn it upside down, but basically what the method is to place the multi-tool onto the mat itself, start the vibration. I'll turn this off while I talk. Start the vibration and have the outlet for the vacuum cleaner right next to it, and what happens is the sand vibrates and comes to the surface, and it's the vacuum that takes the sand away. A lot more difficult, but a lot easier than not using this type of method, or in my experience it is anyway. So in the car, in the footwell, wherever the sand is, start the multi-tool vibrating and just have the vacuum nozzle right next to it to get up any sand that vibrates to the surface. So there you go, just a quick demo of the principles of getting sand from car mats and carpets. I do have a number of customers that bring sand into their vehicles, especially from AstroTurf. So once I get one of those vehicles and I've got the camera equipment with me, I will video a full detail. Obviously I'll edit it down, but show you these principles actually in practice. Sand is definitely one of the areas that I used to really struggle with, and it's still difficult, but using this method that I've shown today makes life a lot easier. Please subscribe to the channel, and as usual, if you've enjoyed this particular video, hit the like button. Thank you very much for watching.